Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer, and tech support said they're coming out to close that up soon. I don't know when that'll happen. Today, we're going to be going into a little bit more from Roy Sutherland, and he's talking about how to make a boring product interesting, and this is like it seems far away from software developers, but as an adventure driven developer, you kind of do have to be thinking about things this way, or it helps to think about people's problems in this way.
Because if it's solving someone's problem, it may seem boring to random passers-by, but when something goes wrong with your boiler parts suddenly take on an extreme level of interest.
Right. So that's as software developers, as adventure-driven entrepreneurs, we are actually solving someone's real problem, and it may look on the surface to be a boring product, a boring thing, a boring service, a boring thing, but to the person whose problem we're solving, we can make their day go pleasantly, right? We can make their day.
There is a way in which I think it pays to make them distinctive, eccentric, even to the point of seeming slightly gratuitous. If you just add some unusual feature. I'll give you an example, okay? Not a boring product at all, a very interesting product, but the wonderful foil cap they used to put on the lid of San Pellegrino cans was notionally pointless, but it made it completely different from every carbonated drink. Suddenly, because you had this foil cap on the top, it was like an access all areas pass. You could actually have cans of San Pellegrino at your wedding, which you probably wouldn't do with, say, Fanta, perhaps.
Right. So how's that? So it's a little bit more fancy, and for people that want a little bit more fancy, yeah, it's a way to differentiate your product, right? It's a way to get curry favor with this dragon when you're going up this thing. When you have some epic quest to do something, some strange thing or some new thing, and you're trying to serve the customer at the same time. That's what this is. So it's like you can think outside the box. Adding that little piece of foil added what 0.1% of the cost of the thing, but it does add that little touch of class. And I had some Italian friends. They said, yeah, it's because we have like animals and things running over these packages, and I don't want to drink out of something that's been sitting someplace else. I don't want to even think of it. So it's a little bit extra fancy. So there's always a way to go upscale. There's always something you can add to differentiate your product or your service or your offering without going crazy. And it doesn't take much. It's really imagination, right? And here, what was the other thing he was going to talk about? What is the marketing secret? So here, let's see what this one has to say here. Is this the one? Where's the marketing secret? Yeah, I think this is it.
What is the marketing secret big companies don't want us to know? I genuinely don't think there are any. I mean, there are strange things which companies wouldn't go public about. The fact that you have to make Diet Coke taste a little bit more bitter than regular Coke because otherwise people don't believe it's a diet drink. The fact that,
This is all psychological stuff. This has actually nothing to do with the actual product. The bean counters would be like, why are you adding that to here? Well, because our customers seem to want to know this is just something they seem to like, and they want to know that's different somehow. And for them, it's having a little bit of suffering is part of the diet thing that they're doing, that they want to be a part of.
Medicinal products are deliberately made to taste unpleasant because it increases our belief in the efficacy of the product if it tastes weird and slightly unpalatable. There are things companies do which they don't make public. One of the things I would make an ethical consideration if I were using behavioral science to solve a business problem would I be happy presenting this on the stage to an audience which would include both journalists and the public? If I thought a significant number of people would be outraged if they discovered what was going on behind the scenes, I wouldn't be comfortable doing it. Now remember that most of the companies we work with are big companies that have a reputation to protect. It's not in their interests to risk being seen to be deceiving customers. That does not mean, and if you want to study the darker side of this, there are plenty of con men, hucksters, shysters, etc. out there who are undoubtedly using marketing tricks to mislead people.
A lot. And that's the other thing too, is another differentiation you can have, is not saying, says, hey, we're not going to play those marketing tricks on you. We just be rough. It's like, hey, this is our pricing, this is our thing. and we're going to charge a little extra for this, but we're not going to try and trick you.
It's absolutely possible. One good reason to learn behavioral science is that you learn to spot it. There is an area which I regard as being fundamentally dubious, which big companies do and should have learned not to do, which is the business of making things very easy to subscribe to and almost impossible to cancel. Now, the reason I think
right, so this is another thing too. Is you can differentiate your product in this way. It's like we make it easy to cancel. Like you have a subscription, but we make it super easy to cancel. You just tick this button once, and there's no more. That's it. It's over, right? And strangely enough, it's like the same thing with a 30-day money-back guarantee, which I've actually experimented with this. People will buy more of your product thinking that they will be able to send it back. And by 30 days, they've forgotten on to the next thing. It's very rare that people actually return stuff. When you're removing a barrier of entry by letting people know you're going to treat them differently as part of your marketing and your advertising as part of your whole experience. It's like, we're not going to screw you over, man. We get it. You know, we see how this is already happening, and we're going to charge you more for it.
They should stop doing this. I think this is damaging to the economy as a whole, because so many consumers have now been once bitten, twice shy, right, through a subscription to something. I think I was still paying for something like Club Penguin when my children were in the sixth form. Those things need to stop because it's eroding trust in the whole system of subscription.
Right. So it's just the building your trust with your customers. That is going to be this new phase of for software companies and for software developers and for entrepreneurs, making trust be the bottom floor of your business is a whole new thing. That's just not done at all. Let small players totally wreck larger players and eat into their market. So give me a like and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.